Right, so let's take that exact same sketch and layout, and we're just going to interpret it using pre-printed, already pre-printed pattern paper. I'm going to use a pattern paper from the Sun-Kissed collection from Celebrate. Okay, I've used this pattern, I've used this pattern, I've used this pattern, and I've used this pattern, if you have it. Okay, so first we need a background. So I chose two pattern papers that are the same, and we are going to use this as the background. Okay, I then took a stencil and some hickory smoke oxide and a domed foam, and I just added a little bit of stenciling on the sides. It's completely optional. If your pattern paper is busy enough, then you don't have to do this. I just felt that it just needed a little something when I had started to put everything together. Once I'd inked through with the hickory smoke, I then went around the edges with some black soot, distress oxide, like that. Again, if inking's not your thing, you can leave it out, and you could maybe just use a distress tool and distress the edges, or just leave it clean line. Right, so according to the sketch, for the middle we need a piece that measures 5 by 28, and another piece that measures 22 by 28. So I've opted to use the pink, so we're going to put it in like that. It's going to look more or less like that. Okay, and then again with the sketch we're going to do these two pieces. So we need a piece 5 by 28 and 2.5 by 28, and I chose the this wood grain piece with a little bit of pink, so that's going to go there. I've already inked everything, it just speeds up the process. So I've inked around the edges with black soot, distress oxide, but you'll notice I haven't inked down the middle, and that's to keep the page flowing. Right, and then I have a piece of pattern paper running across here, that is 5 by 30.5, and I chose this bubbly piece. It's like a bubble print that's a half and a half. There's a half of it is blue and half of it was in this grey colour. And because again it just looked a bit like it needed something to make it pop, I took just a normal script stamp with some hickory smoke archival ink, the distress one, and just stamped out some text on there. Right. I want to frame this little banner that runs across here. So that is, I've cut 4 pieces out of the dark to measure 0.5 centimeter by 30.5, and they're going to go across like that, just to frame the banner that's going to go across. We're sticking with the same photo sizes. So we have 2 photos at 10 by 15, one that's portrait and one that's landscape. I haven't stuck those down yet. Okay. Then we have 3 photos that are, well, 2 that are 8 by 10 that are portrait, and one that's 10 by 8 that's landscape. So exactly the same as the other layout. All we're doing is using normal pattern paper. Right, so that's more or less where that's going to go. Then I sizzixed out a whole lot of flowers. I didn't want to do the same with the stamping, because just in case. So you can sizzix these out. You can either color them like I have, or you can sizzix them out in the paper that's in the colored paper. I didn't have the right color, so it was easier for me to paint. I used a bit of distress paint to get it to almost match my background. Okay, so I think these 2 we're going to pop over here. We're going to build up little bouquets, and we're going to build a little bouquet over here. Something like that. Okay. Then I have these tabs. They're full tabs that I cut out and then just folded them in half. I've just inked them with some weathered wood, and that's going to go over there, and we're going to put another tab down here. right? And then I've got this chippy that I also painted. You can ink it, you can color it, whichever color you like. You can do it in a solid or you can do it in the colors like I have, and I think that's going to go over there. And then I also took this little one, this Love This, and it's going to go there. Then we have these ready cut out scallop borders. So I took, it's just a grey board, I took it and I just painted it and distressed it with a little bit of black paint. I painted it with aged mahogany and a little bit of black. And that will pop down the bottom like that. And I've got some little flowers also just punched out. I painted a piece of paper with these colors and punched out a whole lot of little small flowers that we can just add in like that. And then I call the page Elegance, Beauty That Never Fades. Okay, I've cut out, it was easier for me to cut out a little title. And we'll just stick it down here quickly. So that's more or less what it's going to look like. So I'm going to add glue to everything and then start to attach everything in place. Right, let's get the background stuck down and then we can add the embellishments and the photographs. So we're going to attach this one first. This piece is 28 centimeters, so we have 2.5 centimeters to play with. So I'm choosing to attach mine 1.5 centimeters from the top. Okay. So we'll attach pattern 1 first, the piece that measures 22.5 by 28. Add some glue. And this goes 1.5 centimeters from the top and flush against the center of the page. Like that. So we only have a 1 centimeter border at the bottom. And then this piece that measures, this is your pattern number 2, the piece that measures 2.5 by 28. That one goes down, flush against the side of pattern paper number 1. Okay. Then this one is going to be 4 centimeters from the bottom. 4.5. This one attaches 4.5 centimeters from the bottom. Okay. Dropped something. So 4.5 from the bottom, flush against the side, like that. And just double check. Very good. Okay. And then the scalloped border attaches flush against the bottom of this pattern paper 3, like that. Okay, and then we have these 0.5 centimeter borders, and I'm going to use that to cover the join from where the pattern paper meets the border. So it just sits over that join. You could use washi tape if you didn't want to use pattern paper, plain cardstock. And then to give it a definition and give it a purpose, to draw attention to the title and the sentiment, we are going to attach it like that. Okay, so I forgot to attach this, but that's fine, we can cut it in half just now and put it in. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Okay, so this one goes flush against the top. It sits on the pattern paper, it's not on the grey pattern paper 3, it sits on top of that, it's not flush against the top. Okay, so we're going to do the same with this one. Just move that off. Okay. So we're going to measure 1.5 centimeters from the top, but keep your right side of your page handy. Okay. And we'll put them together like that. Add some glue behind your pattern paper 1. And we are going to attach this flush against the side and 1.5 centimeters from the top. Turn it around to make sure I got it right. Okay. And before we secure it, put the one on top of the other. Make sure it lines up at the bottom, because remember, when it goes into your album, it falls down to the bottom of the pocket. So you want it to line up at the bottom, and it will automatically give the illusion that if it's slightly out at the top, that it's straight. Okay, so we've got that. We have the first one in place, so everything else will line up just fine for now. Okay, then your pattern paper 2. It's attached flush against pattern paper 1, like that. Okay. on in a minute. Right, so we said this goes 4.5 centimeters from the bottom. Okay, we'll add the glue. And attach that. Okay, and before you secure it in place 100%, let's just double check that it lines up with the other side. So we line it up at the bottom. It's lined up there, looks right. Perfect. Oops. Sorry. A little bit dizzy there now. Sorry. Okay. And then we are going to add the scallop border, flush against the bottom of the pattern paper. There we go. And you're going to put your border, your 0.5 centimeter border is going to cover the join. And again, I'm just going to double check that it works. Yes. And then the other border runs on top of pattern paper number 3. And this will help draw attention to our title and our sentiment. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I like to draw lines around my pattern paper. If you don't like this step, you can just leave it out. So that's what it's going to look like with all your lines drawn in and some stitching. So we're going to start to assemble the page. We're going to start on the left and then work over onto the right. So I'm just going to move the right hand one out of the way for now. We're going to start by attaching the photographs. I want the photographs to just touch the border, so these will go over here like that. So we're going to stick those down first, and then we'll start to add the embellishments. Okay, so it's easier for me to work like this. It's about 1 mil away from the border and about 0.5 millimeter away from the center of the page. Okay, and I chose to use a white matte that I inked with a color that I think is going to suit my photographs. I will post a picture of the layout with photographs added as soon as I've got them printed. There you go. Like that. Okay. So this is a 10 by 15 photo portrait. And this one is 8 by 10 portrait. Right. So I'm going to start by attaching my title. I'm going to put down the word elegance first. I'm just adding glue to the back of the title. I made this, cut this out on my silhouette, and that's going to go more or less in the center of the space provided for the title. Okay. Then to make sure I'm going to get it straight, I'm going to put my ruler. That's this ruler, because it's clear and it has the markings. I can easily put it down on the border and shift it to where I want it to be, so I can see it is going to be nice and straight. I'm going to start working from the outside in, so beauty never fades. Right, so that's your title added. Give it time to attach. We are going to add in the little sentiments and the other embellishments. So like I said, I kind of like this one like this. So also slightly away from the photograph, the top photograph pointing to the main one, so that draws your attention to the main photograph. At the top here, I have this little tab. And we'll also draw a line, just draw a line around this tab, just to make it stand out a little bit more. There we go. I think I'll leave the heart for now. Okay. And then we're going to add the flowers. I'm going to have this one come down here. You'll see that I've only put glue behind here and along the stem. This is in case I want to change my mind. I want to move things around. And that I need to maybe shorten the stems. So let's see. So this one I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut it over here. Okay. And I'm going to put it so that it sort of runs behind the other stem. Show you now. Like that. You see, so it looks like it forms part of the main stem. So it runs behind, and I just cut a little piece of it off for that. And then the other one, see if we need to do that. No, we can just leave that stem exactly where it is, and then just pull this more or less in the direction that we want it. Actually have it come down a little bit more. It's very flimsy and finicky because they're so fine. That's okay. Where we want it to be. Like that. Right, now we can add these little flowers. We'll go back afterwards to add some pearls. Pop a flower here. We're going to try and make a triangle with the flowers, these little baby flowers. Okay. So there's a little visual triangle to draw your attention to this. Okay, so that's that side done. I'm going to do the other side, but I need this side to be able to see where my photograph needs to go. So here are the 3 photographs we need. So I want this photograph and this, for this to run along the top, and that puts that one over here. Okay. You could maybe, oh, you can go up a little bit. There you go. Push it up just a little bit so that it sticks out a little bit like that. Okay. So let's get it. Let's get some glue on here. Line your pages up. Remember, it's better to line them up at the bottom. That. And attach this photograph about a mil away from the edge and flush against the top like that. Okey-dokey. Can attach this one. You do not have to do it the way I've done it. You can easily shift it up a little bit more if you want more of the banner, the border to stick out, or less of it to stick out. I kind of like it like that. There we go. And then this one is a landscape that runs like that. Give it a good burnish so that it's not going to move. Right. And then remember, this piece was supposed to tuck in and I forgot, but that's fine. So we're going to attach the love first. Again, I haven't put glue everywhere, just here and there. I did put here and I took it off because I needed my photograph to run underneath that. So I want the love to be as much on the pink as possible, like that, and slightly away from the border. That then gets everything in place. And this was supposed to tuck in over here because I haven't. I'm just going to cut this in half. Okay. And find my ink and just go around the edges here like that, and we can slide this in underneath here like that. And again, just take a gel pen and go around the edges. Good. Now we can add these flowers in. So I'm going to start with these two first. This one is slightly off the grey and on. Put it like that. Actually might tilt that flower head to the left. Let's see. Yeah. And then this one, we're going to tilt it slightly to the right, like that. And then this one, we might have to cut again. Okay. To line up there. Goes to lay in just over there. Right. And again, the three little flowers. Pop one here. You can stick one at the top here. And I'm going to put one inside with the love like that. So I think this one will look better. Good. Right. I don't think I've got any glue on here. Let's just help it along. Right, so that is where we're at so far. I still need to add my pearls, which I will go in and add those in a minute. But that gives you a basic idea of the layout. So this is the end result of the project. I hope you've enjoyed participating, and I look forward to seeing your projects posted on the NSD Facebook page shortly.